What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben, and welcome back to the bench, guys, for another episode of our 12 Sprues of Kit-mas, our holiday build series here at Ben Builds. Today, we're going to go ahead and move over to day number 4. Let's go ahead and grab that box and see what we have in store for us today. Now, so far, the kits have been interesting. We've had some difficult kits, we've had some easy kits, but now I don't know what we're going to get, but I'm hoping it's going to be on the easier side because I got to make up some time after that albatross. So fish on in through here and find that label. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's pull it on out. And, all right, cool. Check it out. This is the 1/72nd scale F-20. This is one of those aircraft I don't know much about, but it looks pretty sweet. So let's go ahead and grab the box and check it out. Now, this is a Hasegawa kit, so I'm pretty sure that the parts are going to be very nice and the fit's going to be probably decent if nothing else. It's kind of an older Hasegawa kit though, but I can see we have recessed panel lines. Everything looks very, very clean, very crisp. So I think this is going to be a fun build. Looks like we have just a couple of sprues, one poly bag. We have our standard decals and of course our instruction sheet. Let's go ahead and take a look at the schemes. We only have one, it looks like, prototype or pre-production aircraft. So that should be pretty simple. Basically it's gray on gray on gray. 3 different colors of gray. So that should be interesting. I don't necessarily have those same colors, but we can find something that will work. And it looks like not many decals either. Let's open up, look on the inside. We've got a pilot figure. We've got some very basic detail on the inside of the cockpit. It may be just decals if nothing else. And then just basically, assembly as normal. Parts themselves look pretty clean, very crisp. We have, of course, a single sprue of clear parts. Then we have our gray styrene recessed panel lines. We have a single piece wing, which is interesting. Detail molded on the inside of the wing as well. So that's kind of cool. So it should be interesting to go ahead and see what we can do with that. Now, I'm kind of thinking something, this doesn't have much detail on the cockpit. It's very, very minimal, very Spartan. So I'm kind of thinking, wouldn't it be cool to go ahead and get this thing in flight? Maybe make it an ornament. Even better, why don't we go ahead and do some test fitting and maybe make this a desk standing model? That might be kind of cool to do. So with that in mind, I've gone ahead and cut the fuselage pieces off the sprue, as well as the single piece wings, and also the drop tank. And I'm just kind of dry fitting them together, and actually the parts fit extraordinarily well. So I'm very happy with that. But I'm thinking I want to go ahead and do something a little bit different with this, and I want to go ahead and display this at work on my desk. And we have this old stand that we had from our T-70 X-Wing build from Sci-Fi Wednesdays, and I'm not using it for anything, so I can actually pop a hole in the bottom of this aircraft. Gears folded up, canopy closed, just black out the canopy so you don't really see the lack of detail on the inside, and then just have it as a cool display that I can put on my desk at work. A little bit of a variation on a theme here, you know. Won't be an ornament, won't be a display case model, but I can still use it, and I can put it at work where I have a few of my other models. So all we're going to need to do is go ahead and drill a single hole about the same diameter as the stand, and we should be good to go. That means that we have to jump in here, do some really basic construction, do some seam fixing, maybe some priming, get some pre-shade going. We're not going to go crazy with this because there's no need to. We're going to have the gears folded, canopy closed. We're just going to make a cool little desk model, and that way we'll earn some time back from our albatross build and we'll have some fun. So let's go ahead and get in there, guys. Let's get this going, see what we can do. Alright everybody, so we are back and the model has gone together beautifully. We've overcoated everything with a gray primer. We came in with a little bit of NATO black for some pre-shade, and I've also highlighted a couple of different panels with some very light ghost gray. So now we have to go ahead and figure out what colors to use for the top of the aircraft as well as the bottom of the aircraft. I have some neutral gray I can use. I can mix it up with some ghost gray. I can play around with some gold gray. I'm just going to have fun with it, see what we can do. A very simple painting, just gray on gray, like I said before. Then we're going to do some detail painting, and then I think we're going to get some gloss coat on there, and we'll prep it up for decals. This model is coming together beautifully. And we are back, guys. Looks like the model so far is coming together very, very well. It's just fallen together, guys. This thing is coming close to being one of the easiest models I've built yet. So that's awesome. We're going to go ahead and do some decaling now. And there's not a lot of decals we have to put on. There's some stenciling, very, very minimal stenciling. There's a couple of labels we need to put on for the tail that say F20. We are given some of the low visibility national markings, but I'm not going to put those on because most of the images I see, they don't show any sort of stars and bars. So I'm not going to put those on. And instead, I'm just going to stick with the basic markings, for the pre-production aircraft. So everything is kind of coming together, and I'm really, really excited to see how this turns out. So now we're going to jump into another time lapse, probably our last time lapse of the day. We're going to do some decals. We're going to hit the decals with a top coat of Future to go ahead and seal them in. Then we'll come in, we'll paint up the stand. We're going to just do a nice gloss black on that. Then we'll weather down the aircraft with some AIM panel washes, final assembly, and then hit it with a satin finish, which is basically 2-part Future, 1-part matte varnish, and we'll be good to go. So back into that last time lapse, guys. Let's finish off this kit, have some fun, get this thing done. All right, everybody. So we are back and we have finished our 1/72nd scale F20 by Hasegawa. What a fun model, guys. Super quick, too. This is probably the easiest and fastest model I have built yet. So I'm really happy how this has turned out. Like I mentioned, I wanted to make something for a display model on my desk at work, and here it is. Pretty cool. Now, the model itself, like I said, went together beautifully. We have a very nice satin finish on there. We've got our missiles on. I left off the rest of the drop tanks. We blacked out the canopy. I think all in all, it looks like one of those models you'd go and buy, for a desk display. We did a little bit of dry brushing on the engine to kind of tone it down a little bit. We've got the missiles on. We just left it with the plain old missiles, nothing else. I figured it looked pretty sleek that way. That means we went ahead and fixed up the holes on the wings, and we just have a single opening right here for our display. Nothing fancy. We got our arrestor hook on there. Yeah, panel liners worked beautifully. Popped up some detail there, and I'm very happy with how this has turned out. The stand is a little wonky, to be honest. I probably should have put like a poly cap or something in there to hold it a little bit better, but so far, I'm happy with it. Let's get you a close-up and you can see some of the details. So for paint, I kind of mixed up a custom color. It's almost neutral gray, but not quite neutral gray. I've got some ghost gray in there, and I just kind of had fun with different colors that we had here available on the bench. I didn't really use any one particular color, and I'm not sure how I arrived at this particular shade, but it's pretty close to what I see on the pictures, different reference shots and whatnot. We've got a dark sea gray front anti-glare panel, and then we've got a neutral gray nose cone. We have some gold gray on the bottom, and we have a mixture of different grays for the top. But I think it turned out pretty decently. The stand is nothing fancy, like I said, just out of my T70 X-Wing build. Wasn't using the stand, might as well repurpose it, and I think it works pretty well here. It's also slightly adjustable too. But yeah, for the most part, guys, fastest build I have done yet here on the 12 Sprues, which is great because it actually gives me some time to go ahead and catch up because I got a little bit of a setback with that Albatross build. But we're getting through there, we're pushing on, and I think we are ready to go ahead and start day 5. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off the bench here. We're going to get on day 5 and make another video for you guys. So until our next episode, happy holidays, season's greetings. Go out there and get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here on the next episode of Ben Builds 12 Sprues of Kit-mas. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care. We'll see you soon.